It's been a wild and dramatic week in the El Chapo trial. One of El Chapo's mistresses took the stand and testified about a dramatic nude escape. Nude. Involving a hydraulic bathtub, which I'm trying to imagine what that is, and a tunnel to the sewers. Her name is Lucero Guadalupe Sanchez Lopez. She's a former local Mexican politician. She told the jury about a relationship with El Chapo. She met him when she was just 21.
We're laughing, but she was actually crying on the stand. The most shocking testimony was about the moments leading up to his 2014 capture. Lopez says when the Mexican Marines were at their safe house door, the couple ran to the bathroom where that hydraulic bathtub was, and it lifted up to reveal a tunnel underneath.
So cool.
Lopez says that the two of them ran naked through mud for what felt like an hour. So joining us now to walk us through all of this testimony is criminal defense lawyer and former prosecutor Vinoo Varghese.
What's up, Vinoo?
Vinoo.
Hey, guys.
What's going on? It's a soap opera.
It's been a soap opera for the last 2 months, right? It's
So
non-stop entertainment.
I know. So walk us through Lucero's testimony.
Look, she was there to assist him, but one of the interesting things yesterday, amongst many interesting things, is the reaction of his wife in court.
So
his wife, while she was crying and sobbing, was cackling away. Like
No.
during
Wait,
the
why?
testimony.
While Lucero is...
Well, the
Correct.
mistress is bawling on the stand.
She's in this reported by the New York Times yesterday, just laughing hysterically. And at one point, Lucero had to be taken off the stand because she was crying so much, but they forgot to turn off her mic. So the entire room could hear her sobbing, and Cornell, the former Mexican beauty queen, is just laughing and laughing and laughing.
Wow.
So you got to ask yourself about, El Chapo should be given marriage tips, because how did he preserve his marriage amidst all of this stuff? I think.
Well, he probably didn't make it. He didn't make his wife allegedly a drug dealer, because she's basically alleging that he got her, the mistress, that he got her involved in drugs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so, she was there. But, one of the telling things, and again, as we can sort of laugh at this to some extent, but, there is human tragedy here.
Yeah.
She talked about the fact that she thought they were together. She was confused, and I guess she was confused by, seeing the wife.
Plus, she was also very young when she met him.
So other than the salacious details, what was the point of her testimony?
Just to bring in more details, but that being said, that's a great question, right? And again, was she necessary? Right? I've been saying this from day one. Was her testimony necessary? Why even talk about this? Because I don't think she provides anything more than any of the other witnesses that have testified, particularly Alex Cifuentes, testified, and he dropped the bombshell about the bribe to President Nieto. That's the reaction apparently in Mexico is sort of muted, because either A, they're like, whatever, it's another, they assume that there's corruption. Another part of it, even his opponents don't even think, or his former opponents, because obviously he's not president anymore, don't believe that this is true. And when you look at it logically, he paid all this money, but it was during Nieto's presidency that he was captured and extradited to the United States.
Yeah.
I think it's a good point, Vinoo, to point out that whilst we've been covering this trial, that there is real human tragedy involved. This is, according to the prosecutors, a terrible human being. And what you're seeing when you see some of these people on the stand and they're crying, or they're giving some of the gory details about what this man is alleged to have done, I think part of what the prosecution is doing is they keep putting these witnesses on the stand so that it hammers home to the jury, that this guy, El Chapo, is a really terrible human being, and he needs to go away to jail for a very long time. I know you're a criminal defense attorney. You're going to say, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters is, did he run the cartel? Did he run the cartel?
Again, you look at this and you ask yourself,
because they're all terrible.
Okay, when is enough, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And again, you asked a minute ago, what was the point of her testimony? I'm struggling, right, to come up with an answer. More details. So when you look at this,
and if you're a jury, what do you think?
Well, you just kind of, I'm sure, in week one, when we were here talking about it back in December, some of the jurors were falling asleep. Now it's, the third month of trial. You can only imagine. But I'm sure that yesterday the mistress sobbing in court, the wife laughing, that probably kept them awake during this period. But one of the other things that came out this week was that there's testimony that money was paid to a DEA agent. So, there's testimony about how the DEA captured him, and they were trying to protect against Mexican corruption. this is the testimony the government specifically sought to keep out. The government also specifically sought to keep out in pretrial motions testimony about corruption with the Mexican government. So Judge Kogan initially agreed with the government, but then allowed some of this testimony, and that's how the testimony about Nieto came out. But then there was further testimony about suitcases filled with cash, and the question was asked by Defense Attorney Mr. Lichtman whether this was headed to Nieto, and the government objected, and Judge Kogan cut off that testimony. So
Wow.
It's very interesting
Yes.
because, we're talking about, obviously this claim of running the Sinaloa cartel, but all this corruption stuff is coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
None of this stuff is probably going to be pursued in any way, is it?
it's hard to say. I
Yeah.
mean, again, that stuff, a lot of that stuff is in
all
Mexico,
allegations,
right? It's
right.
in Mexico, and this trial is here. But the other thing that I want to mention again is that courts are running out of money. So the
Government
act
shutdown.
that's keeping the courts open the money for that is running out. So it's getting to be bare bones, even in the Eastern District of New York and the Southern District of New York. You have certain people who are not getting paid, and so this is going to get down to a bare bones operation,
Yeah.
minimal work going on in the courts.
Just another consequence of the shutdown.
Totally. Vinoo, thank you so much.
Thanks, Vinoo. Have a nice weekend.
You too.